Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma'am.
Shall I start, sir? Shall I
Please.
start, sir?
Yes, please.
A very good morning to all the participants. Welcome to day 2 of Faculty Development Program on Data Analysis using SPSS organized by Department of Management Studies, Mahatma Gandhi University, Nalgonda. I am IR Kalyani, Research Scholar from Department of Management Studies, Mahatma Gandhi University. Today in session 1, Dr. M. Ramesh Kumar, Sir, Assistant Professor, Department of Management Studies, MG University, will speak on the topic Introduction to SPSS. Session 2 is about basic operations with SPSS, again by Dr. M. Ramesh Kumar, sir. Session 3 is about parametric tests by Mr. G. N. Satish Kumar, data analyst, SR Software Solutions, Hyderabad. Now let's go ahead with the program. It's my privilege to introduce today's session 1 resource person and this FTP's coordinator, Dr. Ramesh Kumar Miryala, sir. He is one of the senior faculty members in the Department of Management Studies at MJ University. Presently, he is serving the university in the capacity of Controller of Examinations, and prior to this, he served as Director, College Development Council, and Directorate of Admissions, MG University. Earlier, he also rendered his services in the capacity of Principal of University College of Commerce and Business Management of Mahatma Gandhi University. He also worked in the capacities of Vice Principal, UCC BM, Vice Principal, Boys Hostel and Warden in the university. Prior to this, he worked at Swami Ramanand Tirtha Institute of Science and Technology for more than a decade in different capacities like head and professor in the Department of Management and also as training and placement officer. He also worked as principal for Ronald Ross PG College, Ibrahimpatnam, Rangareddy District. His academic qualifications include PhD Business Management from Osmania University and MBA and MSc Psychology from Kakatiya University. Sir has published 49 papers in national and international journals and presented 19 papers in national and international conferences. He also authored a book titled Brand Equity Strategies and edited 5 books titled Changing Paradigms of Rural Management, Global Business Strategies, Touching New Horizons, Trends, Challenges and Innovations in Management, Responsible Tourism, Human Accountability for Sustainable Business, and Responsible Tourism Marketing for Sustainable Business. Sir has completed University Grant Commission sponsored major research project entitled Work-Life Balance, a study of select professionals in 2018. Presently, 4 doctorate students are working under his guidance. He has expertise in software like SPSS 21 and AMOS 17 for statistical analysis. He is a person with H index in both Scopus and Google Scholar, apart from being on editorial boards of several reputed journals in various capacities. His teaching, research, and consulting interests include organization. Sir?
Can you like wind up?
Yes, sir. Just
Yes,
two
please,
more.
sir. Yes, please.
Just two more lines, sir. Yeah. His teaching, research, and consulting interests include organizational behavior, service marketing, consumer behavior, strategic management, etc. Is life member of All India Management Association, member of International Academy of Business and Economy, and member of Hyderabad Management Association. I once again welcome you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Amma. Thank you so much. Good morning, participants. A warm welcome to one and all. Yesterday, we were discussing concepts on data and data analysis. And suddenly, we have found some issue with the technology. Couple of times, I tried to connect to you, but I failed. So we have winded up the session yesterday. Let me continue the concept where we have closed yesterday. Then we will proceed with the today's session. Is it fine with you all
Yes.
participants? Yeah,
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
yeah. Like participants, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So last class we were discussing about categorical data and numerical data, and then we started about understanding uh, nominal data, ordinal data, interval data, and ratio data, isn't it? Then we have gone to measures of central tendency, and then we have seen about calculation of mean for discrete numbers and calculation of mean in case of continuous data. These things we have seen, and even we try to understand about median and mode also, right? The
Yes.
next important concept, what we need to understand is about measures of dispersion, right? So why we need to understand measures of dispersion? Most of the cases, what happens is we try to understand mean, right? Suppose because we are teachers, right? There is a class for which we are teaching, and I would like to understand what is the performance of our students. To understand the performance of students, what we do? Suppose already exams are conducted, their marks are obtained, right? So once we have the marks, we will always go for calculating mean.
Difference between highest and lowest.
Yes, no. We will first calculate mean. Then based upon the mean score of the students, we'll try to understand the performance of the student. Suppose the mean score, mean marks of the students in a class is about 65%, right? Or 65 is the mean score. Then we'll try to understand that the performance of the student is satisfactory. Suppose their mean score is about 30 marks or 40 marks. Then we'll try to understand that the students have not performed well, or either we have failed or the students have failed in the examinations because of various reasons. That is how we understand, right? We generally go by mean values, and then we'll try to understand and try to interpret. But there are few issues when we only consider mean, and I would like to tell you what those issues are. Why we need to consider basis of dispersion also in understanding the data. Suppose this is the data. What is the data? We have a data set 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. So there are about 5 threes, right? In this case, what is the mean? What is the mean? The mean is 3. And there is a data set, second data set, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is the data set? What is the mean here? Here also the mean is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 divided by 5. How much you will get? You will get Here also in the first data set we got 3, the second data set also we got 3. When we consider only mean, you don't find difference between data set 1, data set 2. But indeed, when you look into the elements of data set 1, data set 2, there is lot of difference between first one and second one. So what is the one? So there is a uniform variable and there is no significant difference in the performance of first person to second person to third person, and everyone performance is found to be the same. But where in case of the data set 2, the last person has extraordinarily performed having got 5 and the first person got only 1. There is a difference. There is a lot of difference between first person and last person. If you consider this 1, 2, 3, 4 other performances or scores or something like that. So what I'm trying to tell you is data set 2 having lots of difference between the values. In spite of that, we got the mean as 3. Whereas in data set 1, because all the values remain same, you got the same mean. When we try to consider only mean, so there is no difference between dataset 1, dataset 2, and you may treat both of them as same. Indeed, there is a difference. To understand that also, we will use various measures of dispersion. Out of it, most important thing which we need to consider is a range. When we try to calculate range or when we try to understand range, range is the difference between its largest and smallest values. Largest and smallest value. So what is the largest value? It is the maximum value. What is the smallest value? It is the minimum value. So range is the difference of maximum and minimum. So when it comes to data set 1, the range value is 0. In case of data set 2, the range value is 4. So what we need to understand here, there is dispersion in the data in data set 2, where there is no dispersion in set 1. In a simple example, let me give you a small example. So I am trying to consider marks of various students in a class. Someone got 30, someone got 40, someone got 80, someone got 90, and someone got 100, right? So maybe this, rather this example, let me take another example. So 20, 40, 60, 20, 40, 60. So are like 20, 50, 80, 20, 50, 80. So what is the average here? Average is 50. So let me take another thing, 50, 50, 50. So what is the average here? The average is 50. So here in the first set, so one student has failed the exam. If you say 40% is the pass mark, one student has failed the exam. Whereas in the second one, all the students have passed the exam. Data set 1, data set 2 are not same, but wherein the means are found to be same, right? So to understand the dispersion, so one of the simplest techniques which we use in research is understanding the range. So we'll try to calculate what is the maximum value, what is the minimum value. So when there is less gap between maximum to minimum, right? There is a less range value. Range value is less. We try to understand that dispersion is very less. The range value is maximum or it is more. We try to understand that there is more dispersion. So when there is more dispersion, so the mean value is varying and there are a lot of difference between one value to other value. That is what we need to understand. And if you see this particular data, what I am presenting here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is one data set. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 15 is another data set. So here, when we try to calculate the range, data set 1, it is 4 and data set 2, 15. So here, what we need to understand in these kind of data sets is there is an outlier here. There is an outlier which is very sensitive and making the range to get affected. So 15, the value 15 is seriously affecting the range value. The maximum value, the range here is 14. It is not 10, 15. It is 14. So here 15 minus 1, which is 14. This 15 is seriously affecting the range. Other than keeping this 15 aside, there is no difference between data set 1 and data set 2. One particular value is seriously impacting the statics of the data. So that is what we need to understand. When you look at the certain data in your data, you will find some outliers Those outliers will seriously affect your data. In such a case, we need to take a decision whether to consider those outliers or whether we need to ignore those outliers. So variance and standard deviation are other important uh, statistics which we need to calculate, and these are the formulas which are used to calculate population variance and sample variance. So I don't want to spend much time here because when we calculate standard deviation or variance in SPSS, we do it using mouse click. So there is no much importance for understanding the formula as of now at this point of time, right? So keeping in view of working with SPSS for more time, let me quickly wind up this particular concept. So variance is the square of the standard deviation. Our standard deviation is the square root of the variance. And always remember, when there is mean, right, we should not simply consider only mean when drawing an inference. So what you need to do, or in drawing inference or in arriving at the descriptives also, you should not simply consider the mean. You should also consider the mean, mode, median, standard median, and also standard deviation, range, variance. So when you try to club all these things and try to arrive at the inference of the data, then the data quality, the inference will be more qualitative than using one of the measures to understand the data. So this is what I would like to tell you related to this. And uh, there are many popular tools that are available for measuring for doing the data analysis. Very popular tool is Excel. Excel also has whatever Office Excel, MS Office is there, no? In the MS Office Excel also, various statistic measures, statistics can be calculated. And so in our session, we will be discussing about SPSS. Apart from SPSS, SAS is there, R is there. R is also very popular one. PSPP is there, and Python also these days many people are using for data analysis, and MATLAB is also useful. And this PSPP looks, so PSPP looks exactly like SPSS. SPSS is a paid software, whereas PSPP is a freeware. You can download this PSPP from internet, you can install it, and most of the functions what we generally work as a beginners, whatever you work on SPSS can be worked with PSPP. So most of you might not be having a full version of SPSS. All such people can download this PSPP software and install your systems and work with it, and you will get same functionality, almost all functionality, whatever you will be working as beginners in SPSS, you can work in PSPP software, right? And R is gaining lots of importance these days. R has more features than SPSS, but only advantage with SPSS is SPSS you will have a beautiful GUI, graphical user interface, and using this you can comfortably work on the data. Wherein to understand R, you need to have a little bit of programming knowledge, or how to write a small syntax, how to execute it. Those command-based operations will be there, which you understand. Then it will be comfortable for you to work with R. Otherwise, SPSS will be the better alternative for you to work with the data analysis. So with this brief point, I would like to close this particular topic, whatever I was discussing in last class, and then I would like to go to the today's topic of discussion. So today, we have to work on SPSS. I expect all the participants to install SPSS in your respective systems, and you will be working with me simultaneously. And wherever you are facing problem, you will get back to me. You can stop me and you can interact with me, solve your. Can you see my screen? Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please. Thank you. So I'm going to the today's topic of discussion. Right. So yesterday I was showing a questionnaire, right? This is how a questionnaire looks like, right? So you will be collecting data using this questionnaire, and whatever data you have collected, that data you would like to take it into SPSS software and do some analysis. Now we need to understand how to take the data, how to understand the questions, and how to codify the things, how to input the data into SPSS, and then how to do analysis using SPSS on the collected data. So that is what we need to understand. So for that reason, I am showing a sample questionnaire. This is the same questionnaire which I was talking to you in last class, last session yesterday. So this is the same job satisfaction questionnaire meant for doctors, right? So this is the categorical data, I mean demographic data which we are collecting, followed by there will be questions on job satisfaction, right? There are about 34 aspects that are being measured for measuring job satisfaction, and these are the various nine questions that are used for knowing the demographic variables of the doctors. So you have seen name of the doctor is there, qualification is there, education is there, designation is there, where he is working, whether it's a government organization, private organization, own organization, a corporate hospital. So all those things are there in this demographic. It's a typical kind of a regular kind of questions which we will see in any questionnaire. So now, so that is how a questionnaire is. Now, like we have to understand about SPSS, then how we need to understand how we can start working with SPSS, right? Right. SPSS is a statistical package, right? The full form for SPSS, how we understand, is the statistical package for social sciences. So this is developed by a company called SPSS Incorporation in Chicago in 1968, and they started selling in 1968. And later they have uh, developed other things in addition to SPSS. So one of the very popular software what they have developed is EMAS. So structural equational modeling is the concept which we will be learning on the fourth day of the session, which is also developed by SPSS Incorporation. Later years in 1980 or 1990, somewhere they have developed this particular concept, which is used for structural equation modeling. So this concept we will be studying in fourth day. So these are the various softwares which are developed by SPSS. So later what has happened in 2009, this company SPSS Incorporation has sold this product and the company to IBM company. Now IBM has acquired totally this SPSS software and SPSS company, and they are selling on their behalf. They are developing, they are enhancing the product, and they are selling. The recent version, so whatever is released, which is there in the market, is SPSS 28. SPSS 28 is the latest version. Now, I have the version of SPSS 21 with which I will be working. So most of the things, I don't say there is no difference between SPSS 28 and SPSS 21. There will be a couple of things which are different, but that doesn't signify anything at this point of time to understand the basic concepts of SPSS. In case you have downloaded straight version to work for today's session from IBM SPSS website, then you will be getting only 28 version, and you will be installing 28 version, and you will be working on it, right? So before we go into the SPSS software, before we switch on the SPSS, So there are 5 windows basically, out of which today we will be working with these 4 windows. So there will be data view, there will be variable view, there will be output view. So output 8.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
I downloaded it, but it is always showing, do you want to allow this app to make changes in your device? What I have to do now?
It, it is a security issue about your system. You kindly allow it. It doesn't have any problem.
So I cannot make use of it then.
No, you allow it. You allow it to change the software. It doesn't
Even if I allow,
affect.
it is not downloading, sir. It is not opening. It shows it get installed, but it is not
Okay.
opening.
I will help you out in the evening. I will take any disk and I'll try to
Okay.
connect to your system and try to help you
Okay, sir.
install
Thank
the
you so much.
software. Right.
Sorry for disturbing you.
No issues. No issues. I welcome. Right. So these are the major windows with which we will be working. We will be working with data view. We will be working with variable view. We will be working with output view. So today, when we open the SPSS software, we will be working with these 3 things. Right. Now, I am moving on. Right. Right. I think still you can see my system, right? Because I have enabled what all operations I will be doing, you are able to see, right? Since I am working with Windows 11, you will find little difference. Otherwise, you can directly go to programs, right? You can directly go to programs. So in the programs, you will find IBM SPSS software. Participants, are you working with me? Participants, are you working with me? Dear participants, you are there? Yes,
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 yes.
yes. Okay. Right. So I am going to this IBM SPSS software. You can see my mouse also, right? So I am clicking it. I think this is what you are asking about, Shobhanaji. Right, you can. Yeah. So seems there is some problem here. There were yeah. So I switched on the IBM SPSS software. So this is the open window, right? As of now, I would like to cancel it. So this is what the data view is. It's something like an Excel spreadsheet, right? So there are columns here. Yesterday I was talking about cases and talking about variables. So these are the variables. So variables are like when you ask a question, so each question you can treat as a variable. So these are the variables and these are the cases. Case 1, case 2, case 3, case 4, something like that. Suppose you have collected data from 50 respondents, there will be 50 cases. There will be 50 cases. That is how It will be, right? So this is how a data view looks like. This is how a data view looks like, right? So at the bottom here, you will find a tab. I hope you are seeing and you are catching my point. Right? I request the participants to be more communicative, right? To be more interactive. You can unmute yourself, you can talk to me. So there is a variable view. There is a variable here. We will see what all these things are. First, let us understand. So what are the various windows? How we need to work with them. So here, when I open, it has shown me some dialog. Right? The dialog we have closed it because we will be using it later stage. As of now, so there are two windows with which we can work. So this is a data view, which is just like our Excel spreadsheet, and there is a variable view. So in our variable view, we will be defining the variables. In our variable view, you don't say that this is a Excel spreadsheet kind of thing, but this is a place where we will define our variables. So this is the place where we will be entering our data. So these are the two things which we need to understand as of now. Then you please look at the menu bar. You look at the menu bar. So there is file, right, where you can open new, or you can open the existing, or you can go for open database or read text data. So all various options are there. Let us not go into options immediately. Let us slowly try to get acquainted with this SPSS software. Then we will try to understand how to use each and every technique. So there is file, menu bar, there is edit menu bar, there is view, there is data, there is transform, there is analyze, there is direct marketing, there is graphs, there are utilities, there are add-ons, there are windows, there is help. So these are the various these are the various menu items, and there are few icons below each. So all those things you can find in the menu bar details also, but for our easy access, even those are provided in the menu. So this is what is our data view. So this is our variable view. So what all menu items are there in data view are also found in menu. So here few are disabled. Why they are disabled? Because we are not open any data, they are disabled. Once we have the data here, all those things will be enabled based upon its requirements. So simply when we open an SPSS software after installing it correctly, so this is how the windows look like. So there is a data view, there is a variable view. So anyone has any doubt here, my dear participants?
No, sir.
Right, fine. Right. So now, let me go to the slide. So we have seen menu options. Then we'll start with a simple example. So what is I'm talking about? So I would like to have three variables. What are the three variables are? The first variable is ID, second variable is gender, third variable is marks. Right? So first variable is ID, second variable is, what is second variable? Dear participants, what is second variable? Gender, right? Third variable is marks in a subject, right? So when we say ID, it's something like a rule number or something like a serial number, like that is what an ID is. So now, like, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to have a data something like this, right? So ID of the student, I would like to have the gender details, then the marks. I would like to do some small analysis on the data, how each student is performing, how boys are performing, how girls are performing. I want to have some small analysis. For that reason, I am taking this. So let me take simple IDs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. So, and Gender also, what we try to use. So gender, we will be taking mostly male and female, right? So what we try to do is, we try to codify this thing before we take the data into the SPSS. Let us use M symbol for male. Let us use F symbol for female, right? And also, let us have numeric values assigned to these things. Because for better analysis, numerical values will give you better way of addressing the issue. So, for male, let me give one number. For female, let me give two, right? So ID is already a number, so I will not be doing anything because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? ID means already it is coded. What is coded? Names are there. For names, we are given ID. Someone is 1, someone is 2, someone is 3. Already there will be reference of names. Now in this table, now I am not considering all those things. With ignoring names, I am gone for ID and I have gone for gender and marks, right? But this ID will have a reference point to the names of the students. So gender, this male and female are there. So male and female, for male and female, I am trying to use code, right? So male is 1, female is 2. Now go to the SPSS file. Go to the SPSS file. So what I try to do here is go to the variable. How many variables I just said? So one is ID, second one is gender, third one is marks. Let me also say marks in science subject. Marks in science subject. Because this name, this variable name, right, it takes limited number of characteristics. We will be using a small string in abbreviation to better understand the variable. So what I am trying to have, right, ID, gender and marks in science subject. So here, when I entered the variable name, immediately type has come, width has come, decimal has come, label was kept empty, values was none, missing was none, columns were given, alignment was given, measure was said unknown, and role. So these are things automatically SPSS is doing. Now we need to understand what all these things are. So what I will be doing here is I will go to the ID. What is ID? I just said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What did I say? ID is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So suppose there are about 10 students, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 will be the ID that I am using for simple reasons. So in such a case, what I do, it is, I will be mentioning it as a numeric. Let us click here, let us see what all variable types are available. We can see numeric, we can see comma, you can see dot, you can have a scientific notation, you can have date, you can have dollar, you can have customer currency, custom currency, then it can be a string, it can be restricted number, integer with leading zeros. So these are the various types of variables. So these are the various types of variables. We will use them appropriately when we find when we find a suitable variable against these variables. But as of now, to simply understand, to get acquainted with this software, I don't want to go into much complications. I want to simplify as much as I can do. So now what I am doing is this ID, because it is a numeric, I am going to keep this numeric as it is. Then, so width, whatever width was given, let it be there. I can even decrease it. It was about 8 characteristics. Now I can say, because number only, now I am starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can even have 2 width also, it is sufficient. But now I don't want to make any changes. Let it be same 8 only. Then I will go to decimals, right? Because when I am saying integer number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I don't need any decimals. So what I do is I will make decimals to 0. So what does it mean? So if I don't mention it 0, or if I keep the 2 as it is, so if I enter 1, it will be taking 1.00. If I enter 2 data, it will be taken as 2.00. If I enter the data 3, it will be taken as 3.00. So rather what I do, I don't want that 0.00 to be carried always, because serial number will always be there as integers. So I would like to delete these decimals. So for that, what I'm doing, I'm using it as 0. Then label, it was not doing anything, SPSS was not giving anything automatically. So I want to mention here student ID. I want to mention it here, student ID. Student ID, student roll number, student nominal number. You can have a roll number, right? Anything. But when the roll number is alphanumeric, you cannot have numeric here. You have to change that one. But if it is only numbers, you can have the numbers. Then values. As of now at this point of time, now I don't want to touch values, but when it comes to gender, I would like to touch these values. I will tell you why it is. Now missing also, I will keep it aside. Let the columns be 8, right? Let the alignment be, let's say, right? And now when it comes to measure, if you look at these, what is there? There is scale, there is ordinal, there is nominal. So what is there? There is
Ordinal.
Sorry. So 3 types of scales are there. What is there? Nominal
Ordinal
and
scale data.
scale data, right? These 3 are there. Now ID, what type of data? So why we had understanding data concept in yesterday's class is we need to understand what type of data it is. What is ID? ID
Nominal.
is serial number.
Nominal.
Exactly. ID is nominal data.
Nominal.
And what we need to mention here, we have to mention it as nominal data. It is not ordinal data, it is not scale data. Scale data is nothing but ratio data, right? So what I'm doing here, so I'm going here, I'm choosing the measure, then I'm trying to convert it as what? Nominal. Since it is an input kind of data we are trying to input, it is not any other type of data. There are many roles here. There is a target role, there is a both role, none, partition, split, which we will be trying to understand in subsequent sessions, not in today's session, but we will keep input as role as input. Now what we have done, we have defined ID. We have completely defined ID. So ID we have taken, name of the variable ID, its type is numeric, we have defined the width, we have defined the decimals, we have gone to label, then we have gone to values, we have not touched anything as of now, then we have gone to missing anything, that also we have not touched, then we have gone to columns, then alignment, measure we have chosen nominal. So this is what we have done for defining variable ID. Then I will go to gender. Now what I need to do for this gender? So
It's
it
not
is
numeric.
type numeric. Should I go for numeric or should I go for any other variable? We can go for string also. But what I do here is, let me go with numeric. How a gender can be numeric? Just now we have seen 1 and 2 we have given for identifying male and female, right? So there are male, there are female. So male, we are trying to code it as M, female F. But what is male? So male is 1, female is 2. So this is what we have already coded. So this is what is called code book. So this is called code book. In our code book, we are maintaining such kind of data. We are writing, code book is very, very important in SPSS. Every time when we look at the questionnaire, we need to prepare, we need to identify the code book. So having a proper code book will solve your 50% of problems in SPSS. So you need to properly record it, properly maintain it. So Male and female, I just said 1 and 2. And here I will make it as numeric only. I don't want to go for string anything, but I will make it as numeric only. And let the width be same. And decimals be 0. That also I am not going to change. What is this? This is about gender, values. I will come to it in a while. Right? Missing, I don't want to mention anything. Columns, right alignment. And here, what I should do, what kind of measure I need to choose, whether it is scale, ordinal, or nominal. Dear participants, what kind of measure I need to choose for gender?
Nominal.
Nominal.
Nominal. It is not scale, it is not ordinal. It is only
Nominal.
nominal. So once again, we have chosen nominal only. Now, so gender, numeric, all these things, whatever way we have done for ID, the same way we have done it for gender. But I don't say it is complete. But in case of ID, I said it is complete. But here at this point of time in gender, I don't want to say it as complete. What I do here is I will go to values, then please follow what I am doing. So go for values, right? I will once again, I will close this. So there are 3 dots here behind none, right? So I will click these 3 boxes. Then
Yes.
it opens value labels. Now what I am doing here, so I have just
Means
coded value 1
Male.
name. What is that? Now
Male.
here I am writing male. You can simply say M also, but for giving or for having a better understanding, let me write male, right? So here there is a spelling. I don't want to do any spelling check here. I will simply go for add. Can I do? Shall I do?
Yes.
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 Yes, sir. Right. I think everyone is following with me, right? Right. So 1, I just added to male, right? Right? What it is?
2 female.
Female, right? So once again, I'm clicking add, right? Then okay. Okay. I simply clicked OK. I will once again check it whether I have done right or not. Whatever I have entered already, it is there. 1 is for male, 2 is for female, and I am not adding anything. I am simply saying okay.
Okay.
Right? Suppose
Yes.
I have done a mistake. I have done a mistake. Once again, I will go to the values. Suppose here something I have entered. I will remove. Right? I can re-enter. Suppose by mistake 23 I have entered, or rather mentioning female, I have mentioned something else. Right? I need to correct it. So what I do? I will go for remove or change. I can do remove. I can do change also. Right? So here, okay. Once I click OK, those 1 and 2 values have gone and entered into the values. Right? Suppose someone has not mentioned anything here, I can mention that also. In SPSS, what happens mostly is there are 2 ways, there are many conventions, right? But every time, for better understanding, people use this code. What is this code? 999 for missing variables. Or people also use -1. Either of these ways you can mention. You can also have your own code. It is not mandatory that you should only use this -1 or 111, but it should be appropriate whatever you are using, right? Right. So I will say it as -1, or let me go for 99, right? In case there are any missing, it will be treated as 999. Suppose I enter 999 against a respondent. That means that that respondent has not mentioned his gender. So I have entered 999 in that particular point. It may be male, it may be female, it may be other also. But he has not, since he has not mentioned anything, I will be coding it as 999. In such a case, here also, I can mention that. But as of now, I don't want to mention anything here. So I have now defined gender. Gender, I mentioned it as a numeric. Width is mentioned. Decimals, I just removed it. and I've gone to label, and then I've gone for values, I've gone for missing, then I've gone for columns, alignment, measure, and row. Right? I think everyone is following with me and also working with me, right? I think you are working in your computer while.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. So like then next thing is third variable what we have defined is it is marks. So I'm trying to have three values in the table. So one is ID, gender, and marks. Right. So marks. So what I'm trying to do is marks, since it is marks, marks will be numbers only. So it should be numbers. Then width, right? In examination, generally when we give marks, we will ignore points. We will just give marks only. There will not be any decimals. So I will keep it as 0 only, right? And what is label is marks in science subject. S means science, right? That is what I was telling you. Values, I am not going to define any values here as of now, right? Missing also, keep it as set. We'll work with it later. And columns, alignment, fine. Now coming to measure, what kind of measure it will be? Whether it will be scale or ordinal or nominal.
Ordinal.
Marks can't be ordinal.
Scale.
It should be scale. It should be scale. Yesterday also I was discussing, someone was given rank, one first rank, second rank, third rank, fourth rank, it will be
Ordinal.
ordinal.
Ordinal
But
values.
when I'm talking about marks, marks is a scale. Why marks is a scale? Will there be arbitrary 0 or not, or a absolute 0? Marks will be
Absolute zero.
marks will have absolute 0. Someone has not written anything and you have awarded 0 marks. 0 is
Okay.
there. It is absolute 0. It is not arbitrary 0. It is absolute 0. So since absolute 0 is there, it will be treated as scale. So it will be scale. So I have chosen scale. So marks S is the variable and numeric is the type, and these are the things what I have defined. Then I have gone for defining the measure also. It is the scale. Now is it fine till this point?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, it means that the scale may be ratio or the interval.
Ratio.
And
No, here,
Scale of measurement. in the
sir,
scale
here,
of-
sir, here, there is no interval. SPSS is not giving any. Sorry, that is the reason why you have asked this question. Arbitrary point doesn't arise here,
Okay.
right?
So
Here,
here
interval is not there.
Then it will be ratio only.
So
it will be
scale is
ratio only.
ratio only.
Sorry.
So it means that SPSS does not take the care of the interval.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, sir. What you said is
Thank
right.
you.
Right. Right. So like marks, numeric, and marks in science is the label, and then it is the scale what we have mentioned. It is not ordinal. If it is rank, it is ordinal. If it's rank, it is ordinal. Right. So I think everything is clear to this point. Right. I have defined variables. So
Because
where
it
did I
is-
define? Where did I define these variables? I have defined these variables in which view? I have
Variable.
defined these variable views.
So it means that
Uh, right. So now coming to the data view. Data view now, here if you look at my mouse, can you see my mouse?
Yes, yes.
Right. Their ID, earlier what was there? There was where, all these wheres were there. Right? Now what is happening? Now whatever I have defined in the variable view, that are reflecting here in this spreadsheet. Now there is ID, there is gender, there are marks.
There is marks.
Yes, right? So, but if you see when I hold my mouse here, when I hover my mouse here, when I take the mouse onto the ID, what is happening? Student ID is coming. Where did I enter this student ID? I have entered the student ID in label of, this is the label, right? In the label of variable view, I have mentioned student ID on ID. I mentioned it as a label. So when I hover my mouse, you are finding that name also, label name also. So when I say gender, already I mentioned here also gender. So here also gender is coming. So when it's marks S, marks in science, it is coming, right? So now ID, gender, marks S, these are the things that are coming there. Now what is required? We need to enter data. So now at first instance, let us try to enter on our own into the spreadsheet, directly entering, right? 1. Say it is male. What I should enter?
1 1.
What did I do here? Let me. I have entered 1, right? Then moved on to marks. Suppose the student got about 68 marks. I entered 68 marks, right? So ID, gender, marks. ID 2, gender 1, 44 marks. ID 3, 2, 67 marks. ID 4, right? Some values I am taking, right? 2, 21, 22. ID 5, 1, 18 marks. 6, let us take 10 students data, right? 89, 87, 89. 7, 2, 99. 8, 2, 77. 9, 1, 19. 10, 1, 67, right? Some values I have entered. I have entered for 10 students, right?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
In the gender, we are giving the 1, 1, 2, 2, and so. Can we have the gender external? We enter the 1 number, then it shows the man. When we enter the 2 number, then it shows the female. How can we do it?
Yes, please. See, can you see my mouse, sir?
Yes, sir. I'm in a position to do it.
Right.
Yes.
You see these value labels?
Okay.
Click it.
Okay. When you enable to click.
Value labels. Value labels is there here.
Okay.
You click it, right? See, when I click this value labels, you are getting 1 is male, 2 is female. Did we define anywhere here in this SPSS? We have defined it. Where did we define?
In the
variable view. In the variable view.
In the variable.
Right? So where did we define?
Yes, sir.
This is the point where we have defined.
Yes, sir. This I know.
Right? We have defined it here, and SPSS is automatically taking it.
Automatically. Okay.
Automatically taking it. See, actually, let me show for one more variable. 11. Right?
Okay.
Now I try to enter. Now I try to enter 1. But when I try to enter 1, what is happening here? There is a combo box coming up. Earlier it has not come. Let me show it once again. I am clicking on this value labels, removing these value labels. When I try to enter here 2, nothing is coming. But after enabling this button, value labels, when I try to enter 2, what is coming? combo box is coming. It is asking us to choose. Automatically, it is asking. If I don't choose anything, ignore and move on using tab, it chooses automatically. 2 is female. So I'm giving some marks. Now it is not okay. Some marks I'm giving. Right? Right? So, like, see, now I have entered the data now. When we enter the data, what we have to do? See, now I have defined variables. Then I have entered data in the data view. Defined variables in the variable view and entered the data in data view. Now what I should do? I have to first save the file. Is it not? Whatever work we are doing, that has to be properly saved. So what I do? I will go to, see, earlier all these most of these buttons are not enabled. Now except 1 or 2, most of them got enabled. There is a print, there is
Sir, for
save.
large sample size, we will have to do this manually. Can you also show us by Google Forms how can we import the data?
I will be showing you all those things. As of now, like
Okay,
when we are just started getting acquainted with
okay,
SPSS,
okay, sir.
I am showing this way, but you can import files from various sources. Right? That option also we will see it in today's session only. Right? Maybe next session. Right? Development session. Right? Coming to here, there is a file save. Same control S command is there. Right? You can have this command clicked and you can save the file, or go to this icon on the menu bar, save this document, right? Click, go to file, go to save, or choose this save button, floppy button on the menu bar, or use Control S command, use any of these. When I click this, there will be a pop-up. There will be dialog box was there. This dialog box is saving where it has to be saved. So as of now, let me choose a file on the desktop. Right, desktop. Right, desktop. Simple example on SPSS. And file name I have given. Fine. Some file name I have given. Go to this second one. Save as type. Star.sav is the extension. Right? So all these files will be saved as .sav file. .sav file. I am not going all these things. I am not saying encrypt the file. I am not going to go into these variables or paste, cancel, help. Let me simply choose save. There is one more box there is one more view that is coming out. This window is called output window. Every time when you execute a command on SPSS, an output window will be opening. That output window will be telling what has happened, whether the command was executed successfully or the command got failed. Just now what we have done is we try to save the file. When we try to save the file is getting saved with some extension .sav in the location which we have chosen, and immediately output window has opened. There it is mentioning save output so and so it compressed. Right? This is what I will try to minimize it now as of now, because we will be working on various commands on this particular file. So every time we need to open another output file, rather we will let it open in the same output file. For that reason, we are keeping that output file open. So right. So now this file is saved. Right. So we have data ID. We have data with ID, gender, and class. A simple file, and we could able to save it. We could able to save it, right? I think everyone followed. In case you have any doubts here, you can ask me. Is it fine? Right? We have opened a file with 3 variables. Then we try to save it. Right.
So can you
Then
please
we-
repeat how to save?
Right. So go to the file.
And save.
File. There is Control S. Why the dialog box is not coming here now? Earlier,
It's
File.
already saved.
now exactly. Since the file is already existing, the new dialog box is not coming, right? But if the file is not existing, or I would like to save as, these are the same commands which we use in our MS Office also. If I go for save as, once again the dialog box is coming. I don't want to save as now because I already have the file. In case I need to have a copy of it, I can use save as with a new file name, right? This is the same dialog box, nothing changed. All variables save, paste, cancel, help, all those things are remain same, right? When I go for save as, but here I am simply saving. Since I have first time saved, it has given the dialog box. When I am repeatedly saving, when I am trying to work, every time I will be saving. Sorry. So that point of time, it will not be asking the dialog box. Now this file is saved. Now what I do is, I will go to this one, PPT. So what I have done, we have chosen 3 variables. Then we have saved the file. The file was saved with the .sav extension. Had we done coding?
Yes.
Gender,
Yes, sir.
gender, yes. Gender, male and female.
Female video.
Male and female, we have done coding, and we have given code
1
1
and 2.
male and code 2 for female, and we choose labels. Automatically, it is displaying male and female. This is what we have worked till now in SPSS, right? Now I will go further. Later, let us compute now. A student is failed or passed using options in the menu bar, right? So here, if you see for students, few students, if you see this particular student, I have given 22 marks. This particular student, I have given 18 marks. This particular student, I have given 19 marks.
You need to label it.
I would like to identify whether the student is pass or fail. See what I need. I don't want to do it manually. I want to do it automatically, right?
Labeling.
Because see, this is only 10 data. I can do it manually. But in case, see here now I can say, I can go to this column and say the student is passed, right? The student is passed. Something like that I can do. Because it is only 10 or 11, it is doing like that. But if there are about 1,000, what I can do, it is not possible, no? So what I should do, I have to code it. How do I code it automatically? See, there are few options here. Menu bar has few items. There is file, there is edit, there is view, there is data, there is transform, right? There is analyze. Huh? Right. I am going, see, most of the times we will be working with analyze only. 90% time, 80% time, we will be working with analyze only. But now at this point of time, in this particular case, let me go to transform. Here, go to this particular command. What is it? Recode into same variable. The next one, recode into different variable. Recode. Whatever data is there in your Excel, sorry, in your SPSS that you would like to recode it a different variable. You can also recode it into same variable. What is recoding into same variable? Here for 68, I want it to be pass. For 22, I want it to be fail. The same variable. But rather doing that, what is best? I would like to have a separate column where I would like to identify where the student is pass or fail. Right?
Okay.
So for that reason, what I need to do is go properly,
Recode to different.
go to transform, then recode into different,
variable.
not same one. Right? When I clicked it, there is a dialog box. This dialog box is showing all the variables, whatever we have defined in this SPSS worksheet. What are there? There are student, there are gender, there are marks. What I should choose? I should choose which one?
Marks.
Marks. Because I want to work with the marks. Right? What I have done, please see. Here it is there. Which side? Left box. And I want to move it to this box.
Right.
This box I want to move it. And I want to work on that one. So like I am moving it here, it has come. By clicking this arrow mark, once again I am doing. Say, suppose I want to move gender, I will move the cursor to gender. If I want to move the student, I will choose student. But because I want to work on marks, I have chosen marks. Then I'm using this arrow, click on it. It is moving the data into, the workplace, right? Marks has come. Now what has to happen? Because I am recoding into different variable, I have to give the name for the variable. I have to give the name for the variable. What is that? Marks, science. See, I would like to know whether it is a pass or fail, right? Suppose this is the name I am giving for the variable. Something like ID, gender, marks underscore s. The same way I am giving another variable. I am trying to define another variable, right? I am trying to define another variable. You can give label or not, but for more understanding, for better understanding, I would like to give label. Students pass or fail in which subject? Science subject. See, lab can have this much of data. It can take many characteristics, right? So then what is? See, I am not going for change here. Where I am going? Please see. I am going to this another button. Old and new values. Old and new values. I hope the participants are making note of the.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please. Old and new values I am choosing. I am clicking it. I am choosing old and new values. Old value. So I want to change the value or I want to change the entire set. How a student is pass or fail?
Below 35.
Below 35?
Below 35 hours for simple reasons. Let me say less than 40 is fail. Or rather I say 0 to 39 is fail. Can I say?
Right.
Is pass. See, you can also make it as division also. Because range is there, range you choose automatically, system will categorize it. So 0 to 39 is fail, 40 to 100 is pass. Suppose if the exam is for 100 marks. Right?
Okay.
So,
sir.
right. So this is what it is. Now what I am doing is, I am going to this one. So here there is value. Suppose one particular value, 68, wherever 68 is there, I want to change 68 to so and so, then I have to choose this particular one. But if this is system missing, this is what I need to click. If this is system or user missing, this is what I need to choose. When it is range, this is what I have to choose. Range. Or if it is lowest to highest, this is what I have to choose. Here, for mentioning this, I can choose 3 to 39. This is one way of choosing, or this is one way of choosing, or I can choose this particular option, which is called range lowest through value. What does that mean? Up to 39. Lowest is 39, 0. And it means up to 39. What is the code I want to give? What is the code I want to give? Once again, what I do, I will go to this one. I would like to code. I would like to write code book. What is the code book? I want to write
Fail.
fail 1. Pass,
2.
right? One. Okay. Add. Lowest through 39. Okay. From minimum to 39, from the lowest rock bottom to 39, whatever number is there, it will be treated, it will be recorded as 1.
Fail.
Right? And the next one. Above 35, 39 or 40 through highest. What I would like to mention? 2. Anything above 45. 40 is pass. This way also you can codify. This way also you can codify. You got this point? Participants?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Right.
Yes,
is
sir.
what you can, this way also you can do, or you can say, I will delete this one. Remove. This also delete. I will try to do in other way. This I will choose. I will say 0 to 39, value 1, add. Same thing it has come. Other thing, 40 through
100.
marks can't be more than 100, right?
Right.
If the exam maximum marks is 100, it will be 100. If maximum marks is 80, it will be 80. 40 through 100. Got it? Either way you can do. And then say continue. We have got the same previous dialog box. Now what we need to do? I have to click on this change now. Can you see change now?
Yes, sir.
Change button, right? I am clicking
Yes,
on the
sir.
change. Then only OK button has got enabled. Till I have not pressed this change button, this was in disabled mode. The moment I clicked on change, this got enabled. Right? Now I am clicking OK. Every time I execute an SPHS command, it will be reflecting in this output window. This is the previous command of saving the file, and this is the present command of executing it. Now go to the data view. What is there? Had we done manually or automatically?
Automatic.
When thousands of data is there, this is the way we have to do. We have recomputed the value. Okay. So whatever variable was defined, it was there. Now, had we given any label for here? Students, pass or fail in science subject is the label I have given. So when I try to hover my mouse, that is what you are getting. Okay. But I have not mentioned 2.00. I am not expecting 2.00, 1.00, but I was expecting 211. Need to anything here? Do I need to do anything here?
Variable view.
I have to go to variable view. Then this is not defined earlier. SPSS, after recoding it into a different variable, it has defined on its own. Now let me check. Numeric was given, and then these two decimals are not required, so I am deleting it. Label already we got it. Values I am not achieving as of now, then I am going to state. And what kind of data is this? Pass or
Ordinal.
fail? Pass or fail? See, pass or fail definitely, because in academics, pass or fail is ordinal.
Ordinal.
In life also, pass or fail is ordinal. You cannot say it is a nominal data, right? It is ordinal data, right? I am mentioning is ordinal data. Fine. Now I am coming to these values. Is anything defined here?
Yes.
No, nothing is defined here. But had we written anything in our code book? Where was the code book? This was the code book. What did I mention? Fail is 1, pass is 2.
Yes.
Accordingly, we have codified, right?
Yes.
So, but had we given that input here?
No, sir.
No. Now, what is this implication? Let us see. Let us go to here. The decimals were gone. Now I try to click on the labels, value labels. This pass or fail is not coming, right?
Yes.
As this pass or fail coming, then it is fine. So what is needed? You have to go to the variable view, then click on the values, click on the values, choose value 1. Then what is the label you are going to give?
Fail.
Because we have mentioned it is fail in our code book, we will say
Add.
fail. Then add. Got the right. So go to
2.
second
Pass.
label. What is it?
Pass.
Yes. Then click add.
Add.
Then what?
Not attempted.
Okay. Right. So this is done. Now, we have changed after recoding it automatically. Now, whatever we have codified in our codebook, accordingly, we have changed, we have entered the values in our values. Now, come back to the data view. Go to the labels. What has come? Whatever, we would like to have it, whether the student is pass or fail, it has come automatically. Right. So, see, can we do this automatically on this marks itself? Can we do it? See this now, what we have done is marks and this code, like pass or fail, we got it to 2 different columns. Can we do it here itself? How to do it? Transform,
In the
recode
same
into
variable.
same
Same
variable.
variable.
When we click on this recode into same variable, it happens. Whatever code we have done separately, it happens here. It happens here.
So it means that the original data will go away.
Yes, which is not desirable.
Not advisable to.
Not desirable. Since your original data should not be lost. Suppose pass or fail, but how many marks somebody got doesn't
That is
signify, right?
needed. Yes.
Right. See, 39 is needed, fine. But see, 69 and 80, 68, 89 is not same.
Yes.
44 and 99 is not same. But result is same, pass. But see, later you want to do some ranking, later you want to do something. You cannot do when you replace it with the total code. So most of the times what we do is, most of the times I said, 90% of the cases, we try to recodify it into a different variable. But in some cases, based upon requirement of the study, you may codify it into the same variable.
So, sir, is it possible that we can give the 4 to 5 type of code neighbor, like first
Yes.
class, second class, higher
Yes,
second
yes,
class,
yes, you can do, sir. You can do.
distinction and everything can be given?
Yes.
Okay,
We will later in few examples, we'll try to do that also.
I understood it. I understood.
Right, right. So this is what it is, right? I think everyone got the point. Any doubts here?
No.
Any participant?
ઊંચું કરી લે.
Right.
No, sir.
So, right, please. Thank you. So this is simple example of computing failure pass, right? And we have done the coding for the pass, okay, right?
અહીંયા કર.
Now I am going to the other point.
Okay.
Add one more subject and then later calculate total marks of the two subjects. Then compute. This is not computer. This is compute mean using a function. This, let us do it. Let us do this particular exercise, then take a break of 5 minutes. Then let us rejoin it. Okay. So I am going to the same SPSS file. Now what I am trying to do, what is desired? I want to add one more subject. Okay. Can you do that at your end?
Yes.
So what I am doing, I am going to variable view. So I am writing marks in mathematics. Okay. What kind of variable? Numeric. Decimals not required. So I am removing it. So what is the label? Marks in mathematics. Then values, no value, nothing is required. Now I am not doing anything here. Missing, okay, keep it aside. Columns, keep it aside. Alignment, right. Then what is it here? What is the scale here?
Scale.
Scale, right? Measure is scale. Measure is scale, right? Marks, we got it now. Now go to the data view. Here we have found like a dot. What does it mean? Missing. Let us give some marks. Right? I am doing it on my own, right? You can have your own marks given. Some marks, arbitrary marks I am entering. I have entered the marks. Okay. Then what should I do? Let me execute for one more time for better understanding the process. Let me execute recoding into different variable. So the last command is found. I am resetting. I am going to the mathematics in marks, which I would like to recode. What I would like to mention here as label, marks underscore mass underscore pass underscore fail. So what is the name label we have given? Students pass or fail in mathematics subject. Is it fine? I am not going for change now. I am going for old and new values. What is that you will mention? Suppose now like I would like to go for this one. Through 39. What is the code I will give? 1. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
So what is it? 40. Okay. This is what? 2e.
2.
Okay. Continue. Is OK is enabled here?
No.
Yes.
No, OK is not enabled here. What I supposed to do?
Change.
Change. I need to click the change. Then OK got enabled. Okay. So, OK. I am clicking the OK. Output box says executed. I will go to the editor. So I got the variable. What I need to do? I need to go to variable. What changes I need to make?
Decimal.
Decimal is first thing. Then what? I have to change the scale also. What is it? Ordinal.
Okay.
Values. 1. Is it pass or fail?
Fail.
Fail. Add 2. Pass. Okay. Click on OK. Now go to data view. So our marks are, now for marks mathematics also we got pass or fail. So I hope everything is fine till this point, right?
Yes, sir.
Now what is the thing what I have asked in this PPT? Add one more subject and later calculate what? Total marks. Total marks I am asking you to calculate. So what I should do? I would like to define this variable. Okay. I would like to define this variable. Am I going to see? This is not Excel where I can write is equal to sum of this A1, A3, B1, B3. This is what we do in Excel, right? That is not is possible here. What I should do? I have to go for transform. Transform. Compute variable. I'm expecting you all to make a note. Target variable. What is the new variable name I want to give? Total marks. Is it fine? Total marks, right? I want this total to be calculated. How it has to be calculated? Marks in science subject. Please see my cursor. This is marks in science subject, right?
Okay.
I am clicking that. When I click that, where it is going? It is going into numeric expression. I am going there. Then I am coming to this plus symbol. Choose the plus symbol. Then to that, what I need to add? Marks in
In mathematics.
mathematics. Then choose that. So total marks is the new target variable. Then marks S, marks M is the sum of these two variables. I would like to get added into this one. Is it fine?
Yes.
Sir, can you repeat it from the transformation?
Please, please. I am resetting it.
Yes, from the transform one.
Right. So this is total
Okay.
marks. Two variable I am writing.
Okay.
Here, maths is subject for maths and science marks. Would like to add. So maths plus symbol. Then click on marks in mathematics. I delete. Once again. Marks in science. Click on it. Use this arrow or double click it. Either of the way you can push it into numerical expression. Do that.
Okay.
Plus symbol. Then click on marks in mathematics. right? Then what? Click on OK. Output is saying it is executed. Go to SPSS file. You got total marks variable, right? We got total marks. Total marks is calculated and a new value is come. Now, small things I would like to make a change here. Total marks, width is fine. This decimal, say in
Geo.
some cases decimals are required. Now in this case it is not required. So label, let me give some total marks. Then missing, all these things I am keeping aside. And what is the measure here? What is the measure
Scale.
here? Scale
It's the
itself.
scale.
It's a scale only, right? So we are keeping it as scale only, right? So right now go to the data view. Total marks you got. Now, what is the command we have used? We have gone to transform. We got to transform. Then after transform, what we have chosen? Which command we have chosen?
Compute variable.
Compute variables.
Compute variable is the command which we have chosen, right? Using compute variable, we are done it, right? So I'm going to the PPT, right? Add. See, what is the question here? Add one more subject, and then later calculate total marks of the two subjects. Then compute mean using a function. So we have added. I request Sham Sundar to mute yourself. Two subjects and then compute mean using a function. So after calculating the total marks, I want mean to be calculated. Very simple. Mean you can calculate in a number of ways, but I would like to use a function to calculate it. So how to calculate mean? Divided by total marks, you will get a mean. What does it mean? Here, when you write the function, after the function, you close it. Let me show it once again for your purpose. So here, I am going to transform compute variable. Here we got this one. This I would like to write average marks. Right? Here simply you can say bracket open, end, bracket close by 2. What do you get?
Average.
Average.
Average, you get mean. But this way is not advisable. This way is not advisable. Why it is not advisable? Suppose there is a missing value of marks. What you do? You will give some code. 999 or you will give -1, some code you will give, and you will expect the computer, I mean SPSS, to ignore such missing values in calculating the mean. Right? If you write this way, SPSS will not be able to understand that. It will not be able to understand that this is a missing value. So rather what you do, you will write it in terms of a function. How to write function? Let us see. So this is the target variable. Fine. Then what I want to do? I want to write function. There is a function group. There are various functions. Arithmetic, CDF, all these functions are there, right? See, these are the various functions available here. Statistical functions, time duration, creation function, all these things are there. Let me choose all. All those things are there. See, these many number of functions are there. You will have random variable number generation. You will have, see, alpha, beta, almost all functions that you generally do in statistics or in mathematics also. Not mathematics exactly, but statistics, you will get it here. See, now like what I want is, I want mean, right? I have chosen mean. Is the mean function is visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes,
Now
sir.
what I'm doing is I'm double clicking that mean. Where it is coming?
In the
It is
box.
coming in a numeric expression. Okay. So in numeric expression, now what is there? Comma is there. Okay. Now, question mark is there, right? That question mark, I want to replace it with which marks?
Science.
Science marks. Right? Next, there's one more question mark. Let me choose that.
With
How to
maths.
select it? By clicking it or by using your cursor, so you can select that question mark. I have selected that. Then what I have to do? I have to choose the second subject. Second subject is marks in mathematics. So now like average marks is the target variable, which is equal to mean of the two subjects. Suppose there are 5-6 subjects are there. What I do? I will
And
be
after
writing
that-
manually, comma. Suppose this is a subject. I will add that one, comma. Suppose this is a subject. I will add that. Those are not subjects, but this is where you can do. Okay. Because I would like to do here for these two subjects, what I am doing, I've gone for mean and mean of these two subjects. Is it clear to this extent?
Yes, sir.
Right? I have chosen a function and I have inputted x and y values for that function. Then what next?
Okay.
Okay. Output is saying executed, right? I am going for 8. Is the average marks obtained? Obtained. Shall I have the decimals here?
Yes.
Because it's an average, let us have decimals. Let us not change it and make it as, see, it is not advisable because it's an average. Average always will have zeros. Wherever it is desired, you will carry it, right? And let us add the label. Something, if required, it is not compulsory that you have to compulsorily have a label. Average of the subjects. Or simply say our average marks. Right. So it is a scale. Is it not scale? Is it ordinal data or scale? Scale only, because it's a marks, sum of the marks divided by 2 number of variables. Right. So now I am once again saving the file. I am going back to data view. And now see, we started with ID and we added gender. Then we have gone for these marks. Then this, how we got it? How we got this one? Using transform, using recode into different variable, we got this one. Okay. Then we have entered marks. Then this, we got it using transform, recode into different variable, we got this. And this total marks, we got it using transform, compute variable. Transform, compute variable, we got this one. Then we got this average marks using transform, compute variable, and in that we have chosen a function. Okay. Is it fine till this extent? Any participant has any doubt?
No, sir. No, sir.
Fine.
Sir, one point is that if the
Yeah,
one
please.
of the subject mark is missing and then it is coming to 999, then what going to be happen about average mark?
Exactly. See, average, sir, if we write it using function,
Okay,
if we write it using function,
okay.
SPSS ignores it.
Can you sir show here? For
I
one
will
sub-
show it, sir. No issues. I will show it,
Okay.
right?
Sure.
I will show it
No
after the break, right?
No problem,
Right.
sir.
With
Thank
sir,
you.
like before 1:30, we have to complete various other aspects so that we will be able to understand the subsequent section only if we complete all these basics.
Yes, sir, but your
You
basic
please try
explanation
also in
is fine.
meantime. In meantime, also you try to get. But if you don't use function, if you calculate it using bracket, sum of subjects plus
Okay.
divided by 2, it will be treating 999 as marks
One.
obtained.
Okay.
But if you
That's-
mention it as if you write it using mean function, then SPSS ignores it.
Okay.
That is the difference. That is the
So
reason why I was clearly specifying. Using and writing mean functions always have an advantage. So wherever it is possible, it is advisable to execute the functions using values. See, there are even missing also various mechanisms are there where we will try to address the missing values. One, if possible, if time permits, we'll see a couple of ways of addressing the missing values also, right? Because if
But
there
sir-
are many missing values in a questionnaire, it becomes very difficult for us to understand, to analyze the data, and you will not be able to get a meaningful outcome out of the data.
But sir, excellent way it is being explained.
There are various mechanisms through which you can solve that issue also, and more every time. If the missing, we will calculate what is the percentage of missing values. You say
Sir,
that,
the difference between ordinal and scale variables, sir. Sometimes it's slightly confusing because your average mark will be grouped into certain values, right? So sometimes it's slightly confusing.
which one, ma'am? Ordinal and
Ordinal and scale.
ordinal and scale has lots of differences. Wherever you use ranking mechanism, you are trying to ranking something is better than other. It is ordinal data. See, if you check back to the yesterday's session, where even I have even shared the link also, where we were discussing about a point like a room temperature thing. I was mentioning comfortable, not comfortable is nominal, but hot, cold is ordinal. Hot and cold is ordinal. Right? Suppose you are talking in terms of customer satisfaction. Excellent, satisfied, not satisfied. It is
Ordinal.
ordinal. It is ordinal. Okay. So we will take a quick break for 5 minutes. Like it is 12:24 as per my system time. 12:24 as per my system time. Let us take a break till 12:30. Is it fine?
Okay, sure, sir.
All right. So we will join at 12:30 sharp. Kalyani, is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Please. Thank you.
No.